iPhone manufacturer Apple have been desperately trying to produce their own EV for more than a decade. They've invested billions. It's amounted to pretty much nothing. The irony is, all along, they could have just asked the same company that makes all their other stuff to make an electric vehicle for them, and they would have happily said, "Sure, Apple." And here's what it would have been. So this isn't technically an Apple electric pickup truck, but technically it sort of is. I mean, this is the same company that makes basically every Apple product. So hey, we might as well just call this the Apple electric pickup truck. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see some people who buy these things replacing the badges with a little Apple logo. What do you think? This electric pickup truck is most likely to be the most affordable real product you'll actually be able to buy before 2025. And I'm talking an actual electric pickup truck for $35,000 US, which will exist, but will it actually be any good? Well, Taiwan's biggest company, who also manufacture pretty much all the Apple iPhones you've been buying, they'll be making it. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel on the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans. Great to see you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. I know, like me, many of you are waiting for an electric pickup truck. You are. I know you are. All of you. In fact, every single one of you is waiting for one. Just joking. Just joking. Don't worry. Don't take that personally. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just because I want one doesn't mean you want one. But hey, I don't want the Hummer electric pickup truck because it's enormous and it weighs nearly 10,000 pounds. I think it's gargantuan and pointless. But hey, if it gets people to stop buying gasoline versions of Hummers or whatever they buy instead of that, that's a good thing. So I'm not going to criticize the Hummer EV. I know a lot of people hate them. However, not everyone can afford to pay $110,000 US. Foxconn, I think, have a really good business model. Their business model is to mass manufacture products affordably. Just because Apple don't sell phones to you affordably doesn't mean that Foxconn are not manufacturing the phones affordably and the iPads as well. And then Apple is making massive profits. Now, there's a reason why Apple has more cash in the bank than any other company in the world, because Foxconn. It's true. And, well, obviously Apple's brand. Apple has gotten everyone to buy into the branding of the company and get them to buy these overpriced phones where they can make tons of money. So I think Foxconn actually can do this because they can make iPhones. When you think about it, yes, an iPhone's very different, but it does have a battery, right? So they have had some experience in making electrically powered things. And realistically, I don't think it's really all that complicated to make an electric vehicle. It's complicated to make a good one, but just make one that's okay. I don't think it's all that hard. If it was, there would be more than 100 vehicle manufacturers in China making them. And Huawei, they've got a pretty damn good electric vehicle now. In fact, they've got a couple of pretty damn good electric vehicles and they're selling really well in China. They've ramped production every single month. Foxconn, yeah, they can do it as well. So what is the car? What are the specs? Well, actually, I think I know the specs. They haven't been released to the public technically, but I think it's pretty obvious what they're going to be. First of all, where's it going to be built? Well, the US version will be built in the factory in Lordstown, Ohio. Foxconn basically bailed out Lordstown, which are a joke of a company. Sorry if you like them or if you work for them, but they are. And they essentially own that company now. So they're going to make them at that factory. Now, will it be the same as the Lordstown pickup truck? No, that's a different vehicle. I'm not even going to talk about that because I don't think that's a real car. It might be, but yeah. Let's look at this thing because I think this will be real. I think you'll be able to buy one for $35,000 US. First of all, how big is it? It's almost identical in size in terms of the actual tray size to the Ford Ranger. Yeah, the Ford Ranger. I'm not talking about the two-door version. I'm talking about the super cab, or I don't know what you guys call it in the US. The four-door version with the style side tray. You know, the version that everyone buys, basically. It'll be the same size as that. Same pickup size in terms of the overall length of the vehicle. Pretty much the same tray size as well. So it's a dual cab model, which will fit 5 people. The actual length, width, and height, well, we're not exactly sure, but it's pretty clear to see what it's going to be because its 126.7 inch wheelbase is very similar to a Ford Ranger's. The load floor area is 1.5 meters, same again, similar to Ford Ranger, which is 59.1 inches, and it's also 1.45 meters wide, which is 57.1 inches. So it might be actually a little bit wider than a Ford Ranger. Apparently, though, it does have one advantage over the Ford Ranger. It has a frunk. You have to store things in the front. Well, aside from the fact that it's electric, which makes it a lot better than a Ford Ranger. In my opinion, will it be better though? I don't know. The range. What is the range? Well, in my opinion, it's just okay. Range is 420 kilometers or 261 miles. Payload, 1,000 kilos, which is actually more than quite a few competitors. That's 2,205 pounds. Towing capacity is 3,000 kilos. That's 6,614 pounds. So that's actually a bit less than the Ford Ranger or the Toyota Hilux, which are rated at 3,500 kilos or at about 7,500 pounds. Now, one of the good things about this vehicle, right? If it's 35,000 US dollars, which I think it will be, it should qualify for incentives in the US of at least 3,700 US dollars. Hopefully the whole incentive of 7,200, but at least the half. So you're at least going to get the vehicle for no more than around 32,000 US dollars in its base variant. 32,000 US dollars for this car, this size, with that much range. That is, you got to say, a good deal. If it's actually good. So is it good? Well, some of the media are saying that Foxconn are taunting Tesla with the names of its vehicles. It's actually going to bring out 3 new electric cars, the Model V electric pickup or Ute, the Model C, and the Model B. Are Foxconn actually taunting or trying to start a fight and a stoush with Tesla, as some of the media are erroneously, bizarrely claiming? Not at all. In fact, it hasn't tried to fight Tesla in any way, hasn't criticized Tesla at all. That's just made up media garbage, just trying to get you to click on their articles. That stuff embarrasses me. Anyhow, Tesla, well, Foxconn want. They've actually said, Tesla, we would love to build your vehicles for you. We don't want to get in a fight with you. We're lovers, not fighters. We're lovers, not haters. Foxconn have publicly said they want to build Tesla's vehicles for them. They want to be a mass manufacturer of EVs. They think they can do it, and they can do it well. Can they? But I think the power of this car will be the same as Foxconn's Model C electric SUV. Now, the Model C electric SUV, it's a bit of a wacky kind of car. I think the specs on it are good, but it's got quite a long bonnet. They're saying it's going to be a 7-seater, but it's smaller than a Model Y. It's got a long bonnet. I don't see how they could fit 7 people in there unless they were all midgets. No offense to midgets, guys. You guys are awesome. I know a few of you personally, but I just don't see how you could fit people in the car. But the actual powertrain of this car is what I think they're going to use on the pickup truck. It would make total sense. Now, the powertrain has 400 horsepower in its top spec variant and 700 newton meters or 516 pound-feet of torque, and it comes with an all-wheel drive layout. The pickup truck, obviously, there's no question, if they have this layout and they're going to be using the same actual platform for this car, which is called the MIH Open Platform, which they are. They're using the MIH Open Platform for this pickup and for the electric SUV, then it would make sense they'd actually use the dual motor version in the pickup as well. So it should be a dual motor version, and you should be able to get a version of this which has 400 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque. In the SUV version, the SUV is around, it'll do 0 to 62 miles an hour or 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. It's pretty fast. It's got a lot of power. Of course, that would drain the battery pack. But the thing is, Foxconn's actually promising a range of 700 kilometers for the SUV. So if the SUV can do 700 kilometers, I think there's a pretty good chance that these specs we're seeing are only for the base model variant for 35,000 US dollars. I'm going to guess they're more than likely going to take the same battery pack, right? They've got the same platform, put it in the pickup, and it's going to get a bit more range than this. Maybe 500 kilometers, or maybe they'll just use the bigger battery pack for the high performance dual motor 700 horsepower version. So when can you actually order it? Well, you can't. I mean, they're saying they're going to produce them in 2024 in the US. Will that happen? I don't know. But Foxconn will get a good idea of the actual real deal behind this company. Are they the real deal? Are they not? When are we going to know? Well, Foxconn is saying you can order their other 2 vehicles, the Model C and the Model B, which I'll do another video on as well, in the 4th quarter of this year. So Foxconn have got what? They've got like 2 months, or a bit less than 2 months, to start taking pre-orders for those 2 vehicles. We'll know whether or not they're serious, on how serious they are, if they follow through with that promise. If they don't follow through with that promise, then we can start to look at them a little bit more like some of these other companies that haven't really done what they say. What pickup truck would I personally order if I was choosing a mid-sized pickup truck? This is not the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck is bigger. It's bigger than an F-150, right? If I'm looking at a mid-sized pickup truck, there's not a lot of options. Now, obviously, Geely are making the Radar R6 in China. They're making those for the base model price. It's very well priced. It's a bit smaller than this vehicle, though. Bit smaller. It's more of a car-like pickup truck, which would be good for a lot of people, but it's definitely a bit different to this thing. This thing really does look more like a Ford Ranger. The Geely looks much more like a car, more like an SUV type thing, and it's smaller. So yes, the Geely vehicle is actually around about the same price, but we don't know yet when they're going to be selling those outside of China. They haven't given us a date, they haven't given us prices. So, in my opinion, I would actually buy the Canoo. Probably thinking, what, Canoe? I haven't heard of this. Well, I made a video about the Canoe's pickup truck. I think it is by far the best mid-sized pickup truck you can buy in the world. Mid-sized. I'm not talking F-150 size, I'm talking the size under that. I'm talking the size similar to a Ford Ranger. Now, the Canoe is actually much smaller than a Ford Ranger, but it's got a way bigger bed. And guess what? The interior is actually a similar size. Why? Because it looks bizarre. It looks very bizarre. Once you get over the looks, you realize it actually might be the smartest designed pickup truck in history. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to put a link in the description below. You need to see my video about that because it might convince you of what I'm saying. That what I'm saying is in fact true. I hope they sell that car here in Australia. I hope they sell them in the US. I hope they sell them everywhere because it should bring about some kind of revolution into the ways that pickup trucks are made. To be frank, pickup trucks don't need a bonnet. It does nothing. It's just space. There's no reason for it. Canoe have proven you don't need it. Therefore, you don't need it. Cybertruck, well, it has a bonnet, but it's much shorter than its competitors. And that's one of the things I like about it. Check out the video and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your favorite electric pickup truck and which one you plan on buying, or if you plan on buying one at all. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.